Hola, my friends. Look what I have here. The new iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max in deep purple and space black. So we got the new colors here. I did get to check them out briefly at the Apple event, but now we have them here. So let's open it up. Let's start with the Pro Max in deep purple. And as you guys can see, we get a little preview of the display here with the dynamic island. I said it that time without laughing. The name is growing on me. It feels more natural to say the dynamic island now. Apple with their names. We'd love to see it. Can't wait to see it more in action now. So let's open it up. Ooh, there we are. There she is. That purple though. Got our little accessories. But look at it. Look at that purple. Elegant. Plum. Gabby says it's like a gray toned purple. Yeah, in certain lighting, yeah, it definitely switches up a little. We got this shiny stainless steel sides and that matte frosted back, very similar to last year's Pro, of course, in this new gorgeous purple color. And all the other Pro features that we're excited for, like with that 48 megapixel camera, the dynamic island, and so much more. So before we open it up and get into that, let's just get this off. Love that. There it is. Oh, also guys, another thing to keep note of with the whole 14 lineup, in the US only, there is no longer a SIM card tray. So look around the phone, bottom, top, everywhere. Yeah, no SIM card. We're moving to eSIM life over here. International versions of the phone will still have it, but here in the US, no more SIM card. Let's power it on. Okay, really quickly before it powers on, we got our Lightning to USB-C charging cable and our little info manual here with our Apple sticker. You no longer need a physical SIM card. Activate your eSIM during iPhone setup. For more information, go to apple.com/eSIM. There you go. What did I tell you? Hello! Look at that! Look at that. Beautiful. That purple gradient though. And before we get into it and set it all up, let's open up the 14 Pro in space black. Wow, look at that gorge. Space black. You guys already saw what's in the box with the 14 Pro Max, so we'll put that aside and just appreciate this color. This is the Space Black 14 Pro. It is a new black for the lineup, and I am really actually obsessed with this. At first glance, I was really just hoping for a more intense black. A lot of people have been missing that iPhone 7 and 7 Plus jet black, like this, that pure black, piano black. This is definitely more of what I would say is like a slate, charcoal black. It's just not as intense. It's got some grays and there's a little lighter. I'm really torn between this, silver, and purple, which kind of leaves all the colors. But when you put these two colors side by side, you can see they're actually really not that far off. They're kind of in the same color family. When you turn it in certain lighting, you will see the differences in that purple hue in there. But for the most part, very similar. That's why I'm so torn. I mean, should I just go for the straight black or purple or silver? I don't know. Hello, we're on, we're powered on. They're both turned on. Let's go in and set them up. We are all set up. Yay. Looking good. And you can see a little preview of that always on display. Loving it. But before we get into all that, I also have some iPhone accessories here. We have the iPhone leather wallet. It's in the color ink.
Give me that pleather one day, baby.
I know, I'm waiting for pleather accessories from Apple, but this feels very crisp. I really do like the look of just rocking like, naked phone, plop on the case back there. That is super clean looking. I also love that the Find My app is compatible with these wallets. Makes so much sense just in case you disconnect it. And we have this is like the same color here, the 14 Pro Max case in ink, I believe. That was the smoothest case unboxing I've ever done. Beautiful. Feels so soft and nice. And if we put it on here, that's like Wow, that's like monochrome action right there. This is a 14 Pro case, silicone, and I think this is just straight up black. Midnight, oh, midnight. Midnight was last year's iPhone color, like the black. Love the cases and all, but I do want to appreciate the iPhone colors. So for now, we will snap them back off. Phones unlocked, wow. That was cool. Even the animation that it does, the dynamic island, when you unlock your phone with Face ID is awesome. It's so cool that it interacts with so much of what you do with the phone. And obviously it's one of those big features that really make it stand apart from last year's Pro. And it really is one of my favorite features all around. So I'm currently screen recording and we have that little record symbol on the top in the dynamic island. Love that. Love to see all that it can do. But now let's hop into the camera and take our first selfie. We do have the same cameras all around on both these devices. So if you go for the smaller Pro, you will not be sacrificing anything when it comes to camera. Really, the only differences here is the battery size. I'm really excited to test out that 48 megapixel main wide angle camera. But right now, let's go into selfie. Nice, and I love my wide angle selfies. Another feature I've been really excited to test out is cinematic mode in 4K 24. We saw cinematic mode last year for the first time, but it was limited to 1080, and now we get 4K 24. So it should look a lot better this time around. And this is all around, not only in selfie mode, but in the rear cameras as well. Here we go. This is what that looks like. Let's turn around, get the different lightings. Backlit. Normal front lighting. It's looking really good. I love to see it. Now I did take a decent amount of photos and videos already with these phones, but definitely stay tuned because I will be diving even deeper into the Pro cameras coming at you very soon. So for now, let's take a look at some of the photos that I've shot. I have some daylight photos, some low light photos, some in between light, some harsh light. We got all the lights, a little bit of everything in here. I gotta say, I really am a fan of the ultra wide camera this year. I've always been. That's always like kind of my go-to camera look when I'm shooting photos. I really love the telephoto too, but ultra wide has always had a big spot in my heart. And now it's even better this year. It's looking a lot more crisp. I did take a few photos. You know, we're not doing a full comparison in this video. That's also coming very soon, but I took some photos with my 13 Pro to compare to the new 14 Pros. And yeah, I can already see the difference. So if you're coming from iPhone 12 or anything older, you're really gonna appreciate that bump up in image processing this year. Things are looking a lot more crisp, especially thanks to that photonic engine doing its thing. And speaking of crisp, we do get a 48 megapixel main wide angle camera. This is something that I'm not sure I'll have on every single time because it is a much bigger file size. But when I do, I will appreciate that extra detail. And to make sure you're taking advantage of the full sensor here, you gotta have that Pro RAW toggle on. And once you do, you get those full quality pictures. Now, something else that I really have been enjoying with these Pro phones is the extra focal length that we get. So we have the 0.5 ultra wide, the 1x main wide angle, the 2x, which takes the 48 megapixels and crops down to the center 12 megapixels. So that's a whole new look to taking photos with these phones, and the 3x telephoto, which just gives you a really wide selection of what you can do with your camera now, and it just opens up to more creative shots. So I'm all about it. Now that new 2x look also carries over to portrait mode, and portrait mode all around really has been solid. I'm especially impressed with this shot in lower light. Like, that's a portrait mode picture and it looks ultra crisp. Looks so good. Hopping over to the video side of things, a really fun new feature here is action mode. And once you toggle this on the top right hand corner, you can get those action shots. And as you're moving quickly, your phone basically stabilizes like you're using it on a gimbal. Now, when you're using this, there is a dip in quality, especially if you're using it in lower light. It is more intended for ideal lighting conditions. But the good news is if you are shooting in lower light with action mode, you can turn on the action mode low light setting in the camera settings. I did this during my testing and I mean, it still looked pretty good even after the sun has been setting already and it was almost fully nighttime. Okay, lots of camera talk because obviously I'm really hyped about the cameras, but something else that I have absolutely been loving with the experience of using this phone is the always on display. It has been just beautiful. Now, one of my biggest concerns with the always on display when I first saw it at the event was how much is it going to affect the battery life of the phone, because I mean, even when it's slightly dim and off, you still see a lot of information on the display, like the colors of your lock screen wallpaper a little bit and your clock, the widgets that you decide to have on there. But the good news is it doesn't really affect battery life at all. And there's a lot of ways that Apple is preserving your display even beyond just the way that the always on looks. Once you put it down on a table flat, it will turn off your display because you're not using it, you're not seeing it, so it will be off once it's turned around. Also, another cool thing is if you have a sleep focus, you can have the display completely turn off during certain hours of the night where, it'll just be like any other iPhone experience that you've had where you tap the display to turn it on. But other than that, I mean, I've been having it on from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night, and I haven't really seen that it sacrifices my battery life. So that has been my experience so far, but stay tuned because there's lots more to come. More stuff with the Pro cameras, some iPhone 14, lots more coming away. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and hasta luego. I'm just like so every time I see the dynamic hole move. Oh, dynamic island.